G'day everyone, today I'm going to teach you everything a beginner needs to know about the army in HammoTimee 4. It's really the core of your military in the game. Every other aspect revolves around growing your army, improving its effectiveness, and supporting it in combat. But first, if you're enjoying these videos and find them helpful, please consider a like and subscribing. It would really help keep me bringing these guides to you. Also, let me know in the comments if you skip cutscenes while you're playing story games. And finally, stick around to the end because I've got a bonus tip for you, so stay tuned for that. So, in Hearts of Iron 4, your army is made up of these single units on the map, which are called divisions. These divisions are what's used to attack enemy divisions and seize territory, as well as defend your own. Generally, you won't command each one individually, but as part of a larger army. There are a few ways to assign divisions to an army, but the most straightforward way is to select the units on the map by dragging a box around them, and then you can see in the top left here the units that you've got selected, and they're also highlighted on the map as well. Now, you simply click on the green plus down the bottom of your screen, and that will create a new army. And you can see all the information about them in the top left here. And if we quickly create a second one with these units, you can actually just click these panels down the bottom and change between your different armies. Now you've put your divisions into an army, you need to assign a general to lead them. To do so, click on one of your armies, and then on the empty general portrait in the top left of the army info panel, and this will show you all the available generals that you have to assign, as well as their stats and perks. For now, we'll go with this guy, Sebastiano, as he has the defensive trait, which, you guessed it, boosts this army's defense. Now you can see at the bottom of the screen, his portrait fills the space that was blank before, and you can use the different general portraits to tell your armies apart. The easiest way to command your divisions is through army orders, which you can see the toolbar for when you select one of your army groups at the bottom of your screen. The number one order that you need to know is the frontline order. So to set a frontline, you select your army, and then click on this one here, which is the frontline order, and then you left click on the border that you have with another nation, and it will automatically fill along that entire border. What this will do is automatically spread the divisions in your army along this front line, as we can see here when we unpause. They won't actually move because they're already perfectly split, but basically now these divisions are automatically covering this whole area as evenly as possible. The next order that you need to know is the offensive line, which is this one right here. This basically creates a plan for your army to move in that particular direction and attack all enemies along the way. So to do that, you obviously select your army, click the offensive line, and then right click the province where you want your army to move to. A quick side note here, each individual tile on the map is called a province. So as you can see here, a single division can only fill one of the provinces on the map. So by creating an army and grouping all your divisions together and then using the frontline order, they'll automatically cover all of the provinces along that front line. So then your offensive order will make your army attack the enemy provinces and the divisions defending them. So that's pretty much the core of the combat in Hoi 4. Okay, so now you've got your attack plan set up and ready to go. Your army will do nothing. They are not going to attack until you give the green light. This allows you to plan multiple offensives at the same time and then launch them all together when you're ready. So to demonstrate this, we're going to give our southern army here an offensive order like so, and then to launch the attack, above each army you'll see this little green arrow. Once you click each of those, the army will begin their offensive. Okay, so here our Italian troops are attacking the Ethiopian defenders. A battle is shown by these little bubbles on the map. All you need to know is that green is good and red is bad. If the bubble is green, you're winning the battle. If the bubble's red, you're losing. The arrow on the bubble shows which army is attacking or defending. So the arrows here point to the Ethiopian troops, which means that we are attacking them. The number inside the bubble shows how close we are to defeat or victory. If the bubble reaches 100, then we win the battle, and if we're attacking, we'd move into the province that we were targeting. Or if we were defending, the enemy troops would be repulsed and we hold our province. If the bubble reaches 0, that means that we lose. And if we're attacking, no big deal really, our troops will just hold their attack. But if we're defending, our troops will be pushed off that province we were on, and the enemy would take that tile from us. Okay, so if we take a closer look here, we can see these rectangle icons, which will show on the map where our divisions are. The number next to each individual icon shows how many divisions of that type are in that province. So here we can see that 2 of our standard infantry divisions and 1 mountaineer are attacking this tile, which is 2 standard Ethiopian infantry divisions and 1 of their mountaineers as well, as denoted by their icons. So if we look at this battle, 1 of our divisions is attacking 2 Ethiopian divisions down here, and currently they're losing. So to help them out, we can actually reinforce this army. So, at the top of your screen, where the notifications are, you'll see the red men indicating that you have divisions which are not assigned to an army group. If you shift-click on that button, it will select every unassigned division. So now you can see up here on the left, we have 21 divisions selected, and we want these to go to our Africa War. So right-click on our army group here, and they're currently all assigned to that general. You can actually see here as well that we've overstacked him. There's 35 out of 24 divisions, so this is too much for him. Every general has a limit to what they can command, and if you go over it, they'll be less effective. So you can see here, 45% penalty, which is pretty significant. You can fix this by moving some of the divisions to your other general. So we would need to offload 11 divisions here. So on the left, where you've got your army panel, if you just select one and shift click until we have 11 selected, and then we can simply right click on our other army group, and now they're all reassigned. Coming back to Africa, when you assign divisions to an army, they'll automatically get assigned to any existing orders. So if we select our big army here and unpause, we can actually see that our divisions are going to make their way to Africa as quick as possible to reinforce that frontline order. And you can see the pathing that they're taking. So just while we're waiting for these divisions to get to Africa, I wanted to remind you that if you're enjoying this video, feel free to subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with when I post new videos. It would really help a lot and keep these guides coming to you. Okay, so now our reinforcements have arrived. They're automatically joining the fight and the frontline orders that we made before. So while they're attacking, I'll just explain to you how wars work in Hoi 4. So to declare on a country, you'll need a war goal, which you gain by justifying on a country or gaining it through a political focus. So to justify on a nation, you open up their diplomacy menu here, and then you would click on justify war goal and select your reason. So you also select the state that you want to justify on. It doesn't matter, by the way, you only need to select one state for each reason, and then you hit send. So for a small amount of political power, you go about creating a reason to declare war on that nation. So as we see down here, Italy starts at war with Ethiopia, so you don't have to do this for that. But once you have the war goal, then you would just click on this declare war option, and that's pretty much it. To actually win a war against a country, you need to control the majority of their victory points, which are usually cities. In most countries as well, the capital is usually worth the most victory points, so taking it is pretty much always necessary. Once you take the required victory points, then a peace deal occurs, which we will see in a moment, just like this. So now we can either puppet the nation, basically turning them into a vassal state, or we can annex their states, basically taking control of it, which is what we're going to do. So you just select the states that you want, you can click end turn, and then press done, and the peace deal will disappear. Now, all of our troops are sitting in Africa while we're justifying a war goal against France. We want them all to get back to Italy as quick as possible to defend our borders, right? So the third order that you need to know about is the fallback line. So this can be drawn anywhere, and this makes your troops go to that point via the fastest possible means. So select your army, click on this order here, which is the fallback line, and then you right click and drag where you want them to go. Now they'll rush back to Italy, and once they get there, you can assign them a new order. A quick side note here, you can actually just assign a frontline order for your army, and they'll still make their way there, but it won't be quite as quick as doing a fallback line. Okay, so our troops are back in Italy, but before you put them on a frontline order, you'll need to delete their fallback line. So, for example, if we put them on the front line, it shows up empty. There's no divisions assigned because they're still assigned to the fallback line. So the easiest way to do this is to go down to the little rubbish bin here, or the trash can if you're American. You right click on that and deletes all the orders that they've been assigned. fresh slate. So if your army is ever stuck somewhere and not doing what you want them to do, try deleting all their orders and reissuing the ones that you want them to do. Okay, so now we're defending our French border, but they do have a bigger army than us, so what we can do is train more divisions. So if you go up here to the recruit and deploy menu, this will show you all the different types of divisions that you can train. These are also known as templates. You can edit these to making them stronger and tailoring them to a specific need. For example, this is our main infantry division template. What we can do is add more men to it here, and that just makes it an overall stronger unit. And if you really want to get into it, you can read the different stats that they're gaining on the right hand side. So just click save, and that is now a better unit. Also, just a quick rundown on this whole division designer thing. To change anything, you do need army experience, which you can see at the top of your screen. You gain that through combat or through some political focuses. Each of these boxes here, that represents a battalion. So we've added our extra infantry. We'll also add one artillery battalion here. On the left hand side, you can see support companies. So these give nice little boosts to your divisions, and they don't cost as much equipment as a full battalion. So let's add some AA, but we don't actually have enough army XP to add both the artillery and the anti-aircraft. So what we'll do is we'll remove the artillery, and now you can see at the bottom here, before when we had the artillery, that was grayed out. We remove this, now it's green. So once you're happy with your design, then you just hit save. It'll obviously tell you the cost, and that change has been done. That will also apply to all of your divisions of that type that already exist, so any extra equipment they'll need will be shipped to them. Cool, now we can train some of our newly upgraded divisions by clicking the train button here. So this will create a single division in training. We obviously want more than that, so you can click this add unit button here, just as many times as you like, really. What will happen though, we've got our 8 divisions queued up here, but as you can see by the green bars next to this little supply box, we only have equipment for 2 of them. So this isn't really a problem, as we're gradually producing more guns over time, and I'll go through the production system in a later video. But firstly, we'll get these guys trained up to 20%, so you can see their training experience status on the right hand side here. So once that gets to 20%, then we can deploy them. Sweet, so as you can see here on the training bar, most of these divisions are about 40% trained, which is fine. Once they reach 20%, you can actually force deploy them, even though they're less than full strength, as you can see here. So to deploy these units, you click on this button here, where it says no location set, and then you just click on one of these green provinces. Left click, by the way. Then you would select this little deploy button here, and now all your newly trained divisions have appeared on the map ready to be put into an army. As you can see though, they're very poorly trained. They're experience level 1. So the final button that you really need to know about is this exercise 1 here. Now, a bit of a tip, if you hold shift and left click that, they will exercise until they're at the max level. Now, what you can do with this army here as well is, while they're training, you can actually assign them to a frontline. So I don't like how Yugoslavia is looking at me. I'm going to assign them to that border there, and they'll keep exercising themselves up to level 3 veterancy, and you don't really have to keep checking on them. They'll just do their thing and then stop exercising once they're at the max level. Okay, so the last thing you really need to know as a beginner is how to assign a field marshal to command all of your armies. You can see the slightly larger portrait down at the bottom of your screen next to your armies, so select one of them and then left click on this green plus. So now you can select a field marshal much in the same way that you would a general. So a field marshal commanding your armies will give them extra boosts in combat. So you can select your other generals here and drag them over the top, which will join them into that field marshal group, or you can right click on the field marshal portrait and that will assign them to the army group. So a general leads an army, and a field marshal leads an army group, which is made up of all of your different armies together. Okay, so you've made it to the end, and now it's time for the bonus tip. So some generals have traits that are better suited to specific unit types, for example, the armor officer. So he'll gain more XP when he's leading armored units. So it's worth taking the time to assign the generals and splitting up your divisions into armies of the same unit type, to maximize these bonuses. Alrighty, so that's everything you need to know about the army as a beginner. I hope you found it helpful and entertaining, and if you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing to see when I post new videos. I also stream on Twitch, my link is in the description, so please stop by and say good day, and I'll see you on the next one.